Because of that Samoan upbringing, where it teaches you, respect, gratitude, and servitude, I feel I've made it far in life just based off that alone. Growing up in Samoa has a funny way of teaching you how to be resilient, how to forge through, and the value of hard work. So I would work a job at 5 days a week, shift hours with everyone, not get paid, go work a 6 day at the sugar club, no pay. But the value was never about money at that time because I was playing catch up to the industry. The value was in the skill that I was learning at that time. Hi, my name is Henry, chef and co-owner of Tala. So I deal mostly with the daily operations of Tala, and my wife does more of the admin stuff that's very much necessary for running the business. So the business itself, Tala, it's been registered for over 2 years. But on this site alone, we got the keys in August of 2023. And then, as far as the dream of having a restaurant, that started about 10, 11 years ago in the States. And the original idea was to open one in Samoa. We ended up here on a little trip for a concert. Had dinner at one of the restaurants on Dominion Road and decided, okay, maybe not so much Samoa, but we're trying to open one in New Zealand. Tala is specifically a Samoan cuisine. So, we were very aware and very focused on just maintaining that, it is just a Samoan cuisine based on Samoan food. So growing up in Samoa, as a kid, it's something that you can't really, it's very different from growing up anywhere else in the world, I think. Having grown up in Samoa and having gone through school in Samoa and failed in academia, I didn't even make it to UPY. But because of that Samoan upbringing, where it teaches you, respect, gratitude, and servitude, I feel I've made it far in life just based off that alone. Growing up in Samoa has a funny way of teaching you how to be resilient, how to forge through, and the value of hard work. And when you go through life having, that kind of work mentality, that kind of hustle instilled inside of you, failing school doesn't really, it's not something that will hold you back. As long as you lean into that childhood upbringing, well, for me at least, that's what I did. I leaned hard into that to get to where I'm at today. Yeah. So growing up in Samoa, I'm forever thankful for that upbringing. Challenges, might be a strong word for it, but some of the things that I had to go through, not necessarily challenges, but there is, I worked for free a lot. So like my first job here in New Zealand, I worked 5 months without pay. I wasn't even offered tips and I was working for free still. On my day off, like on the 6th day, I would then volunteer I would go to the Sky City. There was a chef there, his name is Chef Neil, at the Sugar Club. I asked him if I could come in and learn in the kitchens on my days off. So I would work a job at 5 days a week, shift hours with everyone, not get paid, go work a 6th day at the Sugar Club, no pay. But the value was never about money at that time because I was playing catch up to the industry. The value was in the skill that I was learning at that time. Eventually, I got paid. I got job offers and was paid for the work. But in those that again that Samoan upbringing of working hard to get something and be grateful for what you're doing, having that mentality, in the kitchen of just be grateful that you're here, take advantage of the opportunity, and just forge through, be resilient. Eventually you get the job, eventually you get paid, eventually you get paid tips. But that's just an example of something that you have to give up when you're starting off in the business, at least at that time. The hours are brutal, so you have to find someone that's willing to travel along the lines of what your dream or your goals are. Luckily for me, again, it's not a challenge because my wife, we were on the same boat. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew how long it was going to take to get there. And then, I just had that support all the way through. And, we're here today because of that. There's not really, I feel, as far as challenges, if I was to complain about challenges with opening a restaurant, I would probably offend the people that have come in before me and set up an easy path for me to do this. Because I felt like it was such an easy thing to do. Tala, of course, meaning story. We wanted to start creating that linear timeline of where Samoan food can go. So the experience that we wanted to create here is more of that telling stories of Samoan food. So there's that education part of the cuisine to the public, just as a starting point. I feel like the conversations that we have in here are a lot more specific, which is, what we like. And so there's a certain kind of authenticity that comes with that when you are talking specifically about, a certain dish or why we prepared it that way and where that memory comes from. And then again, with telling that story that's unique to Tala and unique to my experience, growing up in Samoa, having been, doing this as an immigrant in New Zealand, has a very quite unique and authentic spin to it. One of the things that we do here is the apafano, So growing up, respect, gratitude, and servitude is something that you learn really early in a young age. Gratitude and being grateful is not so much for the people that you're serving to be grateful for what you're doing. In Samoa, it's actually you have to be grateful for being of service to your elders, to the high chiefs, whatever it may be, and then. As a byproduct of that, you grow up with respect, having naturally respecting, for the culture, for the food, for your elders. And so one of the things in Samoa that we used to do, and we do here at Tala, is the apafafano. So, it instills that knack for servitude, that knack for, for service and respect and being grateful, because you don't get to eat until after you've given up a funnel to your parents. Then you eat. Then you're like, thank God, I can eat. So all those little elements, we try to weave it through the experience here at Tala, and I think again makes for a very authentic, a very unique experience. Respect, gratitude, and servitude. I always want my chefs, because they do explain the food to the customers, and because what we do here as well is there's a little bit of a show that goes with it. But I always want to instill within them that, there is that line that, that we must never break, where it separates us from the customer. There's a reason why there is his service entry, because we are still the service part of the service industry. And, for them to really respect the customer, and to be grateful for what we have. At the moment right now, we're open 4 days a week. So if a chef or somebody calls in sick, they're only working 3 days a week. So it's a nice balance to have, and we created that way so it's easier for them to be grateful for a job that they're doing. A nice little balance for them. Yeah. But those are the main three things. It's always, for me, it's respect, servitude, gratitude, and it's not we must never expect gratitude from the people we're serving. It's always for us being grateful to be of service. When you come here, it's more of you're interacting with the chefs, you're learning something new, you're experiencing something unique. It's a very relaxed setting. We don't do starch tablecloths or napkins. This is just, we literally took an abstract approach to both the food and the setting so that it can accommodate both. If you're Samoan and you come in here, the long candles will probably remind you of a time growing up in Samoa without electricity. And if you're used to dining out, it'll set the mood right for an intimate dinner.
Yes.
So those are all the little things that we try to accomplish. But as far as fine dining is concerned, that was never the goal. It was more of having a fun experience, unique dining experience. Yeah. So on this side, we have our premium seating, which is called the Chef's Journey. This countertop is where our guests get to experience the umu itself. They get to partake in the umu chicken. And on this side over here is where we have our whaangongo journey, which is a different style of storytelling in Samoa. Between that one and here, we can comfortably sit around 22. It's a very intimate, it's a very small space. And, we like it that way. It gives it a more personal touch, a more personal experience for the customer as well. Most of our cooking during service, though, is done over here on the open fire. And then, of course, one of the main attractions is our umu. We build a very small one, just enough for the chicken itself. We chose the space specifically because it had this as a fixture. And when I saw, that this is available, I thought, I'm not going to do a barbecue or something anybody can do at home. I would rather just use it to showcase traditional Samoan way of cooking, which is the umu. And, having to show that off to, to customers from right now all over the world that visit Tala, there's a little bit of a pride that comes with doing that. And we chose this site specifically because of that open fire cooking. Within the next 5 years, I hope the next guy pops up soon. He's the one to watch. I think he's gonna be, or she. That's where we need to look at as far as Samoan food goes, because we just need that timeline of Samoan food story to really continue, and that's what I'm hoping to look. It's what I'm most excited about. I know what I'm gonna do within the next 5 years. I can clearly see what that path looks like. But what I don't see is, and will be something super exciting, is that next guy up. You know, like I wonder what his take on the food is. I wonder what he's gonna bring to the table. We're very aware of the gap that we've created from the Samoan food that you'll find at the night markets at the moment. There's now a gap between, the takeaways, the Samoan takeaways that you can get, and Tala. And so in here is a little, between Tala and that, is a huge space now that needs, a much needed bridge. The ultimate goal was always for Tala to inspire that next generation. And I feel like whoever comes in and fills that spot in between here and after where Tala is, that is the guy that's the one to watch, because that space that he's going to have, to play with is, sky's the limit. I feel like having opened a Samoan restaurant and putting a high price point on it can only benefit the next one coming along, because he has that whole range now where you can get the takeaway at a certain very low price point, the high price point where I'm at, and then the one that's in between. My goodness, like that is, to me, that's where I want the full focus of what Tala was supposed to inspire, is that space where other Samoan chefs, Tongan chefs, Fijian chefs, Niuean chefs, to be popping up and just using their own cuisine, be very specific about what they're doing. Again, without using that, that whole generic blanket statement.